Building your own computer is one of the many cornerstones of a person's life. Just like getting into a relationship, having sex, and asking for extra ketchup without crying a lot. Building your own computer helps you mature and gain a sense of identity that you then waste by putting on a fake persona for people on the internet, contracting imposter syndrome, and withering yourself away by wondering if you're actually yourself or just an artificial creation made to make friends. Now, if you're tuning into this video, you're automatically not doing the other 3 cornerstones listed, so let's just get started. First part we'll be looking at is the CPU, or Central Processing Unit. The CPU is basically the brain of the computer which processes data. The better the CPU, the bigger brain your computer has. But with CPUs, the size does not matter, it just matters what you do with it. At least that's what my mom tells me. Just be sure to get enough cooling for it and make sure it doesn't lean to the left. The CPU I chose was a Ryzen 3600 XT. Yes, there are apparently way better CPUs on the market, but I like this one as opposed to the 3900X, 3700X, 3600X plus 15, 3200X squared, and the 3800X. All Ryzen CPUs, to my knowledge, come with their own cooling devices. Intel CPUs are also an option if you're trying to run like servers or anything, but Minecraft isn't that intensive. So what's next? Alright, so the graphics card should be the most expensive component of your PC. It's responsible for rendering images to your monitor, and the better it is, the more produced and smooth everything will be. Now the golden ratio for GC to the cost of your whole build is 30 to 40%, which makes sense because the card will take up about 30 to 40% of your fucking case. So if you already have a set budget, planning what card you're gonna get is gonna be very easy. I have an MSI GeForce GTX 1660 Super. It's no 3090, but 1660 is just a cooler number. There is one small problem though. Some graphics cards have this issue, and it can really annoy some people. This is called Coil Whine. Now my graphics card has this, and whenever it gets cranky it starts to... Oh god, no, please, not now, dear god. It's all gonna be okay. Okay, calm down. It's all gonna be okay. There. All better. Now, you really gotta take care of your PC if you want. No! What? Arguably, the most important part of the PC is the motherboard. The motherboard is to the PC as the mitochondria is to a cell. That's right, it's a bunch of useless information you now know instead of how to pay taxes. Now, a motherboard comes in many sizes. Mini ITX, Micro ATX, Mono OTX, Mom, I don't have sex, TM, ATX, and motherboard. Some motherboards have Wi-Fi adapters made to compensate for the lack of connection with other people that you have. Without them, you can't connect to the internet, but you can easily buy a Wi-Fi adapter for a somewhat small price. They can also have up to 4 slots of RAM, which we'll go over later, but some can have as little as 2 slots. 4 is much more beneficial for future expansions though. The motherboard I have is from the Republic of Gamers line, and yes, I will save some pussy for you. The motherboard holds all of your PC components, and it's where the majority of the power supply cables connect in order to power everything. Speaking of which, the power supply supplies power. Okay, next part. Okay, so when looking for a power supply, you obviously have to make sure that it fits within the dimensions of your case. In other words, don't be a big ol' idiot like me and not look at the measurements, so your power supply just barely ends up fitting within the case and all the cables are all smushed together. I recommend inputting all of your parts into a PC part picker in order to see the estimated wattage of your device, then buying a power supply that's at least twice as much wattage because you never know what could happen. My estimated wattage was 399, but big ol' monkey brain like big numbers, so my power supply is 850 watts. Always make sure to go with an 80 plus though. I went with an EVGA Supernova 80 plus gold because I'm wasteful, but at least I'm always turned on. The case, or chassis as the cool kids call it nowadays, holds all of your computer components in a hopefully neat, spacious, and ventilated area that has enough cooling and can fit the type of motherboard size that you have. There's no such thing as a bad case, but there is such a thing as bad customer service. My case's brand is Cooler Master, and in America, there is only one location and it's somewhere in California, They operate on a PST schedule, and their hours are from 12 AM to 8 PM EST. And every time I've called them about this problem I've been having with my case, no matter what time I call them, it's always, "Thank you for calling Cooler Master. Unfortunately, we cannot answer your call. You may be calling us during inappropriate business times, or there may be someone else on the line." I always call them a minute after they open. 20 minutes later, same message. 40 minutes later, same message. 2 hours later, it's still the same message. How often are they helping other people out to where they just can't answer my call? They just kick you from the line immediately, and there's no way to directly contact them via email. And if they comment on your support tickets, and there's no way to direct. Random access memory is also called RAM. It's the speed in which short-term processes are stored. Goddamn. 3200 DDR4 is a good ratio for anything to be ran, but with all other parts of your PC, make sure it works according to your plan. All sticks must be the same speed, so make sure they go at the same rate. So unfortunately, if you get anything lower, any higher speed is going to have to wait. Put them inside your motherboard at every other space. If you do, your computer will be quite the magical place. I wish you good luck with your purchases and accessories, so I hope you buy the right random access memories. 8 GB is a pretty good start though, but 16 is also really good. Finally, we have the storage. The HDD and the SSD stand for the hard disk drive and the solid state drive respectively. HDDs are more expensive, but typically store a lot more data than an SSD of the same price. SSDs are much more modern and faster, but again, they store a bit less than an HDD of the same price. The speed I recommend is SATA 6 GB, and I really don't know what jokes I'm supposed to make about the types of storage, but it's probably for the best. I've put a lot of other jokes and bits throughout this video, so I may just be running out of space. Hopefully you all enjoyed this very tongue-in-cheek video about computer part picking. The knowledge is very bare bones, but it's really just a guideline for anyone who's interested. Thank you all for watching.